So this third video, what we're looking at is we're going to look at income. I know it seems like it's obviously we have to look at income because, hey Kyle, I can't pay for a house if I don't have a job. Exactly. So lenders want to know what you're doing in terms of income, what you're making in terms of income. Now, if we look at a couple different scenarios, you're either salary, you're hourly, which could be guaranteed, or hourly without guaranteed, or you're something different like commission or contract, something like that. So commission, contract, and hourly not guaranteed, you guys are pretty much in the same ballpark, so we'll cover that in a sec. So first, salaried employees. Salaried employees, it's pretty straightforward. You get a letter of employment that says, hey, this is who they are, this is what they do, this is how much money they make per year, boom, that's done. And then the pay stubs match that, ready to go. That's it. Now, if you're hourly with guaranteed hours, it's almost the same thing because they'll say, yes, they're hourly, but we guarantee them 40 hours a week, 37 and a half hours a week, whatever it is, and this is how much money they make per hour. So when we just multiply that stuff together, boom, we've got your income, and we know we can use that. The pay stubs match that, and away we go. So again, letter, couple pay stubs, and they always call to make sure that we're not lying to them. They always call your employer, I should say. So we've got that. And the key word there, and this is the difference between guaranteed hourly and non-guaranteed hourly, is that exact word, guarantee. You can't have a letter that says they consistently work or they work an average of. That's not a guarantee. Just because you work a lot because maybe you're their best employee doesn't mean they're going to sit there and guarantee you 40 hours a week. So that's where that's where it starts to get a little bit more dicey. So if you fall into that realm, the third realm of hourly but not guaranteed, or your commission, or you are a contract, what they do then is they take the letter of employment, they take the pay stubs, and they also ask for 2 years of your notice of assessment. So notice of assessment, what is that? You do your taxes, that's the T1 general, that's your big thick package that's kind of annoying. You do that one, and then when you get your refund back, or before you get your refund back, you get like a 1 to 3 page summary. That's called your notice of assessment. It shows how much you claimed as income, all the different little deductions, just very minimized, and then boom, at the bottom it says, hey, you're gonna get this much back, or oops, you owe us a check for this much money. That's your notice of assessment. What they do, they take the last 2 years of your taxes, the last 2 years notice of assessment, average out line 150, which is all the income that you claimed, and from there, that's the average they use. That's the number they're willing to put down on the application. That's what we can use to make sure your deal works. Now, if you earn more money now versus before, or if that 2 year average isn't very good for a multitude of reasons, we have to try to work with that. And that's where sitting down ahead of time, working through those numbers, showing me or your broker or your other agent or the bank, those numbers really gives us a true indication, and we know how to work with those numbers to make sure we know what we can use. Because if we do that, then we know that we know what we can put on the application. We know how to adjust that GDS and TDS to make it work with what we can use. So it's super, super important to have that information available and handy, especially if you're in that third category of people. Salaried people, it's pretty straightforward. Hourly guaranteed, pretty straightforward. But the third group of people, hourly, non-guaranteed, commission sales people, contractors, people, even some business for self people can be rolled into that group as well. That's where it gets a little tough. So that's why we do that work ahead of time. If you have that stuff set and ready to go and we have that conversation, we know exactly where we can make this work. That's income. All right, next on we're going to look at some debts, some liabilities.